Hello, this is Xacris777, and welcome back to Ars Nouveau. I may have gotten a little carried away off camera with some building. We've got a tower here. We've got part of an auditorium down there. We've got a lot done, lots of random building, and a lot more to do. So I think we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to do a quick overview here. I made this auditorium. I started laying it out with the mage blocks here. I'm still working on the interior design. The idea is that I want it to be basically a backdrop for future videos. I'd like to do a short video series on basically random mechanics, such as how to use the apparatus, what is an imbuement chamber, all that sort of stuff. But I need the background built first. And since it's survival, it's taken a while for that. Other than that, lots of random building around here for the entrance. Working on kind of designing this, kind of just doing it as I go. That's about it. Oh, and then the tower up here. Let's fly, please. Started working on that, but it's not quite finished yet. I still need to figure out the roof up here, and here is where all of my gold is going. So, I got stuff to do. Before we get into the occultism stuff, there is an elephant in the room we need to discuss, or rather a tower in the base. I started work on this months ago, and it's been bothering me because it's just been sitting here as a scaffold going up, and that's about it. And a little like circle at the bottom here. The problem is I couldn't really figure out what material I wanted to use for the tower. And I realized when working on the auditorium over here, I really like this tuff. I think it works well as sort of a very old arcane block. So like the lore is that this has been here longer than the rest of the school here. And so I had a couple different ideas of things I could use for that. One is, of course, the tuff that I ended up using here. There is also, we have Thalmon, so it's kind of themed after Thaumcraft. So there is the arcane stone bricks and arcane stone from that as well that I do actually quite like. And I might start adding some of that into here. It's a very old block, but very black. Kind of goes with the deep slate. It's a bit darker than deep slate. Anyway, I ended up settling on the tough bricks here, and you'll see over here the problem. Yeah. My original plan on this tower was I wanted to have redstone lamps going all the way up, indicating my fill level, and I had a few different problems with this, so I just wanted to go over this before I tear it all down and end up building the thing that actually will build. This is basically the area inside of the tower area there, where the lights are. There's not a whole lot of room, it's just 5x5, and that's where I started. So I ended up just kind of building all over here like a redstone testing world, basically. This was my original plan, and it works. It does exactly what I need. It is, however, really messy and also uses a ton of target blocks. It's just kind of a mess. Actually, it probably uses the same number of target blocks, doesn't it? Probably only 3 per layer now that I think about it. Anyway, it was a mess, and there's no internal room available because, remember, the wall of the tower is basically right here, like that. So I would have just this tiny little area here if I needed to go up and down it. And if I go inside here, you'll see we do have some stuff in here, namely some relays, source relays, of course, to send the power down, as well as storage lecterns, both going up and down. This has my fuel and stuff up there. That one up there has my rest of my base going up. So I have access up there. So this, not going to work. Not enough room in there. I didn't really like it. Next up, this option here. So there's this side here with the slabs, this side with the glass, and it works. It's exactly what I wanted. Power signal goes here. So if it says level 3, then it goes over here and goes up to level 3. You'll notice when it's off. And that is because I realized while actively building it that it's also not going to work. Because then there's redstone visible. And I didn't want visible redstone. So after several days and a little bit of lost sleep actually, I was struggling with this for a while. I eventually found this idea, or found upon it around like 1 o'clock in the morning. We've got here our signal goes in the middle, or I guess it could go on either side as well. It doesn't really matter. I can change that section how I want. But it works in 2 ways. Basically, comparator here will power the bottom block of this tower, so it gets its 1 signal from this guy. At the same time, this dust will lead to over here because this is, you can see it pointing at that block, so it's soft powering, so the comparator can pull it out. And then over here I have 2 little towers that are alternating by 1. So this side here gets us the odds. So 1, 3, and 5 are on this side, and this is just slabs going back and forth, back and forth. And over here, same thing, but this is doing the evens. So when this gets 2, then this is able to reach up to this one, because this says 2, this says 1. Powers redstone lamp there through that target block. And it goes all the way up like that with the odds over here, evens over there, and then it is just mirrored on this side. Or not mirrored, it's rotated, I guess, because it's symmetrical rotation, whatever. So that is the plan of what I will be building in the tower there, and that basically sums up the past week or so. I spent a week on this trying to figure this out because I wanted it to look exactly right. So basically from the outside you'll just see these edge pieces right there. And over on this side here, I'll pretend that this is a log for right now. This is just going to be the archwood logs going up on the side. So all you see from the outside is going to be the tuff and the lamps. So with our tower actually functional now, we have our shiny lights going up the side. I do still want to change the top there. I haven't decided exactly what I want to do with that. Kind of probably that same shape, but probably switch it over to the tough blocks here. The next thing I want to work on is actually inside the base. My storage has an issue, and that issue is it works, it just is kind of difficult to expand more. So if we take a look at this, we have 135 connected inventories. That means in order to add a single one up to 136, I need to have, according to my calculator next to me, I need to have 17 bookworms on here to do anything. Otherwise I can't add any more connections. It's fine right now, I can access everything because you don't actually need the bookworms around for that, but you do need to have them around if you want to add more. And I do. Specifically, I would like to add some more tabs here. So let's take a look around. We have this new item called a repository catalog. You can't right click it, doesn't really do anything, but basically what these do is if you have a bunch of repositories here, we'll stack a bunch kind of randomly and sure, like that. If I place a repository catalog here, it is actually able to access all of these. So in fact, let's put that there, move you to right here, and let's grab ourselves a hopper. Open up, hopper. I don't have a hopper. Why don't I have a hopper? Thank you. So let's place a hopper underneath here. What we can show is if we were to throw a random item here, like say a Bookwyrm charm, it gets pulled out over here by our lovely hopper, pulling out of the catalog. Catalog's whole point is to be able to link things together to the actual lecterns, and you can do it in a single connection then. So basically we have 128 repositories here. We're gonna change that. If we hop down below here, on this side I've already done it. I've chained all of these repositories together. It's not quite exactly as clean as I would like, because I do end up having 2 repositories visible over on this side, and I have a whole bunch over on this side as well, just coming down the wall. So I'll have to clean that up or hide it somehow, but that does allow me to have everything linked together through this one catalog. So if we hop down below here again, this side I also did the last thing. I have not done that side, I haven't done this side. Basically what I'm doing is I'm just linking everything together. Fight, please. If we go up. Pay no attention to that. Random hole in the ground. If we just kind of chain these along, like so, let's do that one instead, just to make it slightly more out of the way. And then the rest of these can just kind of go all along here. We'll go up to these guys in the middle, connect to this section as well. What I ran into? Ran into that. Okay. Let's finish this. There we go. That one's done, and I'll do you off camera because I don't have enough repositories. Basically, I'm ending up adding actually about 100 more repositories, so our 128 is now 228, which is a lot. And it's going to be a problem, but it's fine. Next up, we're going to go ahead and... Am I ready to break this? I think I'm not ready to break that until this is connected. Let me do that real quick. Alrighty, now for the moment of truth. We are going to break this. So that has now broken everything. All of my connections throughout the whole base. Those are all now disconnected and won't be there for a while. Let's put our storage lectern back. No access to anything. We're going to take our bookworms here. I don't want the named one. I actually want to unname him, but I'm not quite sure how. We're going to put 2 on here. And 2 should be more than enough for what I'm doing here. We're going to start by doing what we did last time. I've got these sophisticated storage connections first. Okay. Connect you to you. So that will now connect all of the drawers, because those 2 networks cover that whole side. If I grab my storage tool here, put it in my offhand, we can see all those connections go down to these 2 inputs. Input outputs, cool, thank you. Take you off, because that's really visually noisy. Okay, so next up, I am still going to add these empty source gem blocks. I don't actually need them, and they're not real. It may not even let me add these. No, it won't. Let's replace them. Let's swap these out with some temporary repositories. There we go. And I'm also going to do this middle section again. I don't need it here, but it might come in handy. I don't know. You do you. All right. Now that we've got those are kind of going to be placeholders for if I want anything done sooner. In fact, now I'm going to break them. Go away. Why are there pillagers? Those shouldn't be here. Let's finish this. Alright. Those are connected, and now I can connect the rest of our... Seriously, how are you here? Go away. More. They're outside. Okay. Connect you guys. Now, one kind of annoying thing is that it is going to start filling it up just from the beginning now. If I connect these all up, I can show you here. When I first connected everything here, what I did was I specifically kind of linked just this one, and then that one, and then that one, and then that one, and then I came back into the second row. Just kind of spread it out a little bit more so that when I'm walking through here, I can actually see the color of the books instead of seeing a bunch of empty bookshelves. We don't have that anymore, but I think that's okay. Go away. Thank you. I think that's okay. So next up, because that is our actual storage, now I want to start working on some infrastructure. First off, I did move this to over here. So this is my overflow. If anything goes in here, like a cold nugget, I start getting annoying noises. That's because I don't want anything to ever go in here. Specifically, I don't want anything to go past this one, which, again, I just added 100 more repositories, so it shouldn't be a problem, but you never know. So that's just kind of a safety mechanism so I don't break anything else. So what we're going to do is grab this one, and it's named Overflow. Cool. So now if we open this, we have an Overflow tab, which has nothing in it. And if anything does go in there, I get the noise. And the next thing I'm going to add is actually over here. That's not a drop. Over here. So our apparatus setup. I rearranged it just a little bit. It's a lot simpler now because some of the issues were fixed. Basically, before when I tried to send things to this repository directly, it didn't always go into the first slot. It seems like it is working now properly. So I'm going to go ahead and link this repository over here. Let's get back up, please. Link you. 11 connected inventories, much better than 135. And if we look down here, I can kind of go over what is going on down here. Now, the whole point of switching the storage over to these catalogs was to make it so that I only have a handful of connections. I've got 11 connected inventories instead of 135. And that's because I want to start adding things like the apparatus system. So I already added it down there, but I want to go over how this actually works again. Right here, we have two storage lecterns. We have this one on the left and this one on the right. You'll notice this one says 1 connected and this one says 9 connected. To the right, these are the two primaries, by the way. This connection is just the apparatus itself. That's it. Nothing else is connected to it. Over here, this says 9 connected inventories, and that is connected to the 8 pedestals around it. Of course, 8 doesn't equal 9, so let's go ahead and get our flight to refresh. Thank you. I need to move that flight ritual. If we hop down here, the 9th one is actually this pedestal right here. And you'll notice I put a filter on this, an item frame, so if anything goes into that network, if it is a lime wool who happens to be named start, then it will end up in this pedestal. So what we can do then is over here, we've got, this is the input, items go into here, specifically in the order of the first item is going to be, let's just show this with, grab some items here. If we open up this and grab 1, 2, 3, 4 view and a Starbuncle token. Cool. And while we're at it, let's grab our start button. So what we can do is, I thought I dropped one of you. If we look at our repository here, if we put in Starbuncle token, 4 gold ingots, nothing happens. But when we put in our start button, that's it. So it sent the token to this one, and everything else goes to the storage lectern. Now you saw that it did say up there at the top there that there was a lime wool in here, and there's currently not. That's because lime wool went to there, which is next to a lectern, which just goes back to my main lectern network there. And you did just hear a click and saw this comparator, and that is because those gold ingots, they're not here anymore. The Starbuncle charm, it's not there anymore. This guy here is next to a lectern on the apparatus network up there. So basically as soon as it is able to be pulled in, it will. And these guys over here, this is just the pedestals up there. So basically it just automatically distributes the items into the pedestals, puts one into the apparatus when it's ready, and we get ourselves another Starbuncle. So we have 3 now. And of course, because that is a named repository, we get ourselves a lovely little apparatus tab. Let's grab our start button again, and we'll grab another token, thank you. And let's grab some more gold. Don't even need to search for it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Now if we go to our apparatus tab, we can go ahead and say, I would like a token, 4 gold, and a start button. Those all disappeared. And we can see up top there it has started crafting already. And once that is done, if we go back to star, we can see we have 3 Starbuncle charms, and right about now, there we go, 4. Automated apparatus. Now that those are all linked up, I can go ahead and actually close up the bottoms here because I don't actually want it to be just open holes. Excuse me, mister, you need to move that way. Thank you. Thank you for moving. And I think I have a couple more holes over here. No. These need patched. Alright, oh, and I should mention I do have another repository back here so that the catalog is connected to these side ones, which connects everything. Just fell down. If we go ahead and take our Dominion wand, we can right click this to see all connections. We'll see we have the 4 up top here at each of the catalogs. I've got our little corner sections down here that are basically just kind of fillers, except this one and that one are real. And if we look, we can see our repository down there. The green light next to it is the same as this green light here. No. Why is there a green light right? Thought so. Do I have it as spell? Yes. Another very big quality of life change that we can make is the scrying eye. So I don't remember exactly the recipe, so I'm going to type eye here. This is, the enchanter's eye. The scryer's oculus is another thing that has to do with this, and the scry crystal is what you need for the middle. Let's get ourselves some blaze powder and ender pearls and go ahead and open up our enchanting tab. So if we take one of you and let's just split these out like that, we'll do you, and you. And then we can go over here to this, grab our start. I have some plans to make this slightly easier as well. I can go ahead and start that recipe. And if we look up there, that's crafting. Perfect. And then the other thing is, I think I'm going to make 2 of these actually. So we'll go you, and you, and let's grab our start as well. Cool. And send you in. You know, I've never actually sent it that fast before, so glad to see that it works. Perfect. Anyway, let's go in here and let's look for eye again, and that is our enchanting eye, and we have our scry crystals. Perfect. Now, the whole point of this is this will allow us to create a spell that we can just cast at a specific location whenever we want. So let's go over to our enchanting table, or our scribe table rather, and we will switch you from being that to being inventory access. And we will switch this to be a projectile spell, projectile interact actually. There we go, create. And we can go ahead and throw you on there. And you have a spell set, inventory access, projectile interact. Excellent. And now the big question is, I don't actually know where I want this. Now I do have plans for chunk loading the base. Right now it is not loaded. F3G will enable chunks. And specifically, this chunk here is the center of one of my planned loaders. So this main inventory here, as well as all of them around it, the 3x3 of chunks, will all be loaded by this single loader right here once I have it set up. I can put it under this lectern. The only reason I wouldn't is because I'll be using false weave underneath it, and that's going to mess up the floor pattern here. So let's grab false weave. Thank you. It really doesn't matter where. I'm going to go over here, right down here. And I think, quite honestly, what I'll do is I will just put this off to the side, actually. Put you right here. In fact, since it is off to the side, I won't even need to hide it. We can just put you right there, position set. Now, if I right click, you can see that it fires out of there. And let's go ahead and grab ourselves a lectern. We have a couple, perfect. And you can go just right here. Cool, and then link you up from you. I could link to this one, but I'm not entirely sure if that's the one I want to keep as my kind of connection point down here. So for now, I'm just going to connect directly to that. There we go. And now we take our enchanter's eye. As long as base is loaded, we can access our storage, including our wonderful tabs such as our apparatus crafting tab. In fact, one really minor change here is I switched it to being, since it's not a visible lectern up above there where I want to keep a nice smooth floor, it's just kind of right here. I switched it over to being in just touch interact, so it is instant effect instead of waiting for the projectile to hit it. It's a very small change because, you know, the projectile's flying pretty quickly, but it does feel a bit nicer just to be able to right click and immediately open instead of it being a slight delay. Well, now that we have wireless access to our base storage here, I think the next big task that I would like to work on today, probably the last one for today, is I want to start working on kind of some infrastructure that's really going to play a big part in how we use this base and this entire storage. If we go here to our tabs, we have all items, overflow, and 2 apparatus. All items is, you know, pretty straightforward, it's everything. Overflow is generally going to be empty. This is a safety mechanism to make sure that nothing else goes to everywhere else. And as I mentioned, 2 apparatus is actually going to go away. Instead, I want to work on how this is going to be kind of set up in general. And I think in order to do that, let's go ahead and grab a catalog as well. I think this might make sense to have. Maybe. We'll see. And the way I'm going to do this is I just need to find a spot that's within these loaded chunks. F3G. Then I should say they're not currently loaded. I'll set that up later. It's just kind of a boring setup. I can go over it later once I get it built. I think the place for this is going to be right... I don't have any repositories on me. That's like the main thing I need. Repository. And let's also grab a hopper. Cool. All right. I brought the saw over here and the woodcutter because what I want to do is I want a command system. Basically, when I open up my storage here, I have these tabs. I would like to have one where I can just enter commands for my base. One of those commands, for instance, could be turn off the rain. I could set up an automated ritual system where I press a button and rain stops. Or take it the other direction, push a button, and now suddenly there's a thunderstorm that the whole server has to deal with. Just accessible from any apparatus or any lectern, or of course my enchanter's eye. And I think the way I'm going to set that up is basically you, and you. That's it. I lied. I want 2 hoppers. Let's go ahead and set up something here. I'm going to put 2 lecterns down, and for right now, let's just start with 1 bookworm on each, just so I can start actually connecting things. And what I want to do, and I want to see, is basically how responsive is this system. If I grab some redstone dust here, just put one right here and right here, just so that it is connected to that, and I can see if it is working. If I go ahead and if I put something into here, it's of course going to be pulled down to this hopper because hoppers pull from above. You'll notice I have it pushed to the side because I don't want it pushing down into the hopper. I want this hopper to pull it out. It just makes it last like a tick or so longer, but I think that might be what I need for this. So if we say, let's see, I need you, we need to hook you to you, and to you, and to you. So right now there's those 3 inventories that then go down to there, and this one right here, you should be monitoring other direction. Cool. Is there air? Yes. Is there more than 1 air? Yes. Doesn't really make sense, but that's okay. We'll put a redstone dust in there. Currently there's no redstone dust, that is fine. If I put a redstone dust up here, and I need to kind of situate where I can actually see it out of the bottom right down here, that works. If I put a redstone dust in here, just one at a time, that did not light up. Okay, so it might need to be a little bit faster. Let's grab just some wood to stand on here, so I can see it a little bit easier. Right over there. Put one of you in. Nope, didn't work. Nope. Nope. That one did. Okay, so it needs to be a bit longer held in here, and that's fine. It might make sense to have it locking the hopper, maybe? Lock the hopper until we detect that there's an item. Once that has been detected, then let it go through. That might make sense. Let's try that. I think instead of doing the hoppers, I was having trouble getting that to kind of delay how I wanted it. Let's turn you off. I have a dropper here, and dropper is going to a comparator, which then has a bunch of repeaters, basically just slowly taking it back in. In fact, let me double check that is within this chunk. Yes. So now if I put my redstone in here, it turns on and then turns off. Turns on, turns off, which is exactly what I wanted. So now the whole point of this is I need to actually hook this up to my system, because the idea is that when I send a command here, for instance, start, then once the start command is received, it will then do a thing. And basically, instead of right now, what I'm doing with the apparatus tab is I have to put the whole recipe in here and then go find the start button, then go put it in there. I want it to just be kind of as an actual button inside the storage. I've gone ahead and linked a few things up to my main storage. I've also had a day or so to think about if I want to make any changes to the system. Currently, it's just commands thing here, and I named the catalog underneath it also commands. What that does is if I open up my Enchanter's Eye now, we have our lovely commands tab, which currently has a start button in it. And if I take it out and put it in, it beeps at me. Right here. Why did that have a... Oh, it had a spell because I also hooked this one up. Yes, this is also hooked up to my main storage now, or rather to the command line. So it's actually firing this each time it gets that start button. So that's cool, I guess. I don't actually know if I need that anymore over there, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's grab an item frame here. Just that. I want to do a quick test. If I put an item frame on here, and I have some redstone in my offhand here, but now I have some bluestone in my offhand. So we'll take that and we will put that into there. I want to see whether or not that is going to still, first off, we'll take the Enchanter's Eye here, put this in our command tab, we'll put one in. And that should now have a blue stone in here. Perfect, it does. And if I do the same thing, but this time with redstone, send you, apparently that sends half of that stack, that's fine. That also sent one down here. And of course, here's a weakness of this system is any extra commands that go in here will just kind of sit there because this only fires once. It's not a repeating thing. But the test worked. So bluestone and redstone dust go in here because they are both redstone dust here. If I were to take, let's say, how can I monitor this? If I go right here, wrong button, go right here and let's add cascading log to this. Okay, we won't do that because I put that in redstone. If I put the dirt in here, that did not light up this comparator, it just went straight into the commands box, which is good. So basically what that means is this here, this item frame filtering, it's really nice for a few things. It's also less nice for a couple other things. It's sorting bluestone here, it says, but it's actually going to take any redstone, which is a pro and a con for depending on the system that you want. I'm actually really happy with that though, because what that allows me to do is it allows me to have different kind of classes of commands that I want to send. So I can have basically any type of, let's call it unacknowledged commands, will go here, which that means I don't need to wait for a response from a subsystem to be able to come over here and actually like trigger this to say, yes, I have read that command, I accept it, and we're good. Instead, this box here will currently be taking redstone dust. Anything that is classified as, I wonder if that's going to throw off my main storage. I should probably test that. Put that there. Sorry, mid-thought there. If I put that into here, that's going to sort it down into this system, isn't it? And that was to the main network, okay. And if I go here, all items, and I toss in a redstone dust, that also goes in here. That's not what I wanted. Or is it? It's fine, because I'm not going to be using redstone. So as I was saying before I was interrupted by myself, this is going to work for unacknowledged commands that don't need a response from subsystems. So what that means is some things I just want to be able to send a command and I don't really care if it listens or not. I don't really care if the message got through because the action is going to be fairly immediate anyway. For instance, this apparatus setup here. I don't really need an acknowledgement from it that it's doing a single immediate craft because, well, I'll be able to just look up and see that it's crafting. So it's pretty straightforward, right? I think what I'll be able to do then is for like something like that, or maybe for rituals such as turning off the rain, just be able to send a turn off rain command. It will then go through here and it's fine. Other systems such as maybe smelting, I might want to have a response from it saying, yep, I acknowledge, I'm good, I'm going to start taking everything. Or maybe for apparatus, if I have it crafting multiple things at once, maybe that system can have an acknowledgement and that will be a different system here, which will basically just kind of add on to the existing network here of this repository or any number of repositories. Kind of like right here where I have this pedestal, which currently isn't even going to be used. If the items go into this pedestal, it still goes back into the commands storage here without having to go through this particular dropper. So it will help me to basically use just different types of items, and that's why I have a bunch of random stuff on me right now. It'll allow me to have different items to be able to send different types of commands. So redstone dust, you can go back in here, you're not going to get filtered. Or maybe you are, because I already acknowledged that. These are going to have some sort of filter at all times though. So I think that's going to be a thing that I care about. Is that going to be an issue? We'll see. Anyway, I have a lot of random items on me, so let's go through that real quick. Let's grab green enchanted logs, and I brought over my saw here because I want to take a few of these guys, throw them in here, and say I would like some green enchanted doors. Because I don't plan on using green enchanted doors. Let's grab 3 of you as well, or 4 rather. Let's grab a bunch of witch hazel doors. And you know, I do like using source stone doors, so I'm not going to use those as a signal. Mangrove I think is good because it's a nice red door. So then that gives me both green and red options for things, so I can mark things as true or false. And I think I'll use for now the witch hazel doors as the instant commands. So what I'll do then is I'll put you right here, witch hazel door. Now anytime I send a witch hazel door to the system, it will just automatically go in. So witch hazel door goes here. It's not gonna really do anything right now, it's just gonna automatically go. It should have gone from here down into repository. Yes, perfect. I like it. So now of course there's a question of what all am I actually doing? And why is this interesting? Why is this worth my time? I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna say start apparatus. Actually, I'm gonna call it, yeah, just start apparatus. Start apparatus. Cool. Great. That is my naming spell. We'll put a single witch hazel door in my offhand, name it right there, and we will add it to our display case right here, start apparatus. Now, since this over here is configured to accept witch hazel doors, and everything else is going to go down here, I'm going to put the rest of my witch hazel doors down there for storage for later. I might need a separate box to keep the blank templates, but we'll see. Anyway, if I go to our enchanter's eye here, where I've got a lot of random junk in my inventory now, this can all be dealt with. There we go. And you guys can all go to my redstone box, including the bluestone. Why not? Cool. Cleaned up a little bit. Now, if I want to make something, let's say, what would be something that we would want to make in the apparatus right now? Ah, yes, the perfect thing we can make right now is lecterns. So let's go ahead, and I got a little ahead of myself here because we still are missing one very vital component. Let's go ahead and link this input repository to this lectern right here, which currently has nothing else except for that input. Now what I can do is if we grab our lecterns, we can go ahead and place one over here. I hope this is within range. It may not be. We'll find out shortly. I need to link from you to over here. This should be within. Yes, okay. So now this guy over here is happily able to see that tab, input. Cool. Let's go ahead. We need more lecterns. I only have 2 left, and well, I've got like 20 right here, so we're gonna need more. Let's go in here, and we would like to make some lecterns. That needs some chests, so let's grab a handful of these. Yeah, that's enough, sure. And regular lecterns, why not? Thank you. Now what we can do is normally we've got our start apparatus would be sitting in here waiting to be commanded. And we can go over here and we'll just kind of step back and watch. We open up our storage. I need to first link that up, of course. So from some of these you shift, some of them you don't. From you to main storage, which is up here. The whole reason why I reduced the number of bookworms that are needed is to be able to do this. So now if we hop down here, we can watch. We open up our eye. We go to our input tab and we say we would like a lectern. So we say 1 lectern, 4 chests, and then we can flip to commands and start our apparatus. And that didn't work. Why didn't that work? You know what? I would bet that the problem here... No, that did work. That was fine. This over here is not fine. Why did you not... Are you linked? Pretty sure you should be linked. That needs to be on the command network. Yeah, it's lit up there. So it is watching that. Quick sanity check here. Put a redstone dust there so I can actually watch this. Commands, grab start, put it in. That did not light up. Grab start, put it in. Why are you not working? You have 1 connected inventory, which is that. You are watching this to see if there is that in there. Aha. Remember that whole accidental click thing? Yeah, it changed that. So if we have everything in there still, if I look in there, I've got my lectern and my chest, and now it should work just properly. If I go to commands, drop it in, there we go. I added a little sound indicator here indicating that yes, we got a command. Cool. That ensures that it goes into that box, and that is now crafting up a new lectern. Perfect. And we can go over here as well and grab another. I should probably get these kind of like split up, ready to go. So we can go lectern, chest, start. And that way, I don't need to specifically look for the start command here. It also means that for individual things, I'll have different starts to each of them. So for instance, I can have, start smelting immediately. I can have the ritual of, it's nighttime right now. Let's see what we can do about that. Okay, admittedly, this did take me a little bit longer than just one evening there. We have ourselves a weather machine. So I need to finish setting it up, but basically the way it works is, let's go ahead and bind you up to our command line, which is this one. There we go. I do wish we had a way of labeling lecterns. So right now there should be basically nothing here. Perfect. We have a weather machine. Ta-da. Anyway, the ritual brazier in the middle here basically would get the tablet from the tablet of cloud shaping in the dispenser here, and droppers above will drop either lapis lazuli to create storms, gunpowder to create rain, or nothing in order to create, well, just, clear skies. So let's go ahead and hook this up. I need one of you. I think I just need these 3. So let's go ahead and get our naming spell. We would like to call this clear rain. There we go. There's one. Let's do this one here, and we shall call it not clear rain, but we shall call it create storm. Start storm. Hey, excuse me. Start storm. Okay, there we go. Name you. And this one here shall be start rain. Rain. Cool. All right, so we have ourselves our 3 little labels here, and we can put that down right there. Now, this one right here in the middle, this one is going to be clearing everything. This one on this side is start rain, and this over here is start storm. So I need to hook those up first before I link things up, because otherwise they're going to detect air and then start, messing with the weather. And I don't want to do that yet. But the way this works is we've got these 2 upper display cases here. These will be for starting things because they have to first add an augment here before we start the ritual. So this goes here, powers this block because this is powering the block below it, which will both at the same time fire the tablet of cloud shaping, dispenses into the brazier in the middle. The dropper tosses it on top. Now, the next thing took me quite a bit longer to design than I thought it would. Basically, I need to have quite a bit of delay before we actually activate the ritual brazier, because otherwise what was happening was, since droppers have a little bit of randomness to where they drop things, what was happening is it's going up too high. So if it launches up higher, it took longer for the item to fall onto the brazier to actually get sent into it. I did try sending it directly into the side of the ritual, but it was a little unreliable there, and sometimes it would treat it as if it was tossed into the middle of a solid block and just like pop out randomly to the side. So instead, I have it here up top. I have a little cover on top of it, glass to keep it inside there, and 4 ticks here. Single dust is powered by the block above it. And then just a whole bunch of repeaters that loop back into over here, powers this dust, which then actually starts the brazier. Meanwhile, for clearing the rain alone, since we don't need an augment for that, it's just tablet is directly powered, and then redstone is powered by the display case above it, and so it's a little bit shorter of a delay to start the brazier. That is all hooked up there. Now what I need to do is I need to link this to our actual command line. So you monitoring there, not valid inventory. That direction. So you guys are all getting your signal from here. Oh, interesting. Because it has that one up there. Because that's where the master is. Makes sense. That is all ready to go. Now, I only have a little bit of lapis. I don't have a source of that at the moment. Gunpowder, I've got some. I think I've got more over at the Drigme. But let's go ahead and test if this works. So in theory, I should just be able to throw these in here, just like that. And then we can go upstairs and we can see if this works. And of course, now it is day, or now it is night, so we'll go ahead and sleep real quick. Lovely morning here. And let's see if this works. So if I open my tab here, I can go over to the command section and clear that, doesn't really matter. We've got, you know what, let's start a storm. So it should start. There's kind of a little bit of an animation down there, so the ritual has like sparks and stuff that fly up, but it should any moment now. Any moment now. Thunder. I guess because the sky is so dark, it is definitely a storm. So yeah, we now have a weather machine. We can basically just right click this anytime we want, go to the commands, and we can do whatever command we would like. Clear the rain, start rain, whatever we'd like. We now have it just right here. Let's go ahead and clear that. This one will be a little bit quicker because there's no redstone delay on there, but the ritual itself does take a few seconds to actually take effect. But it's quite effective. And granted, I could have just slept through this because it is a storm, but we can just kind of change the weather whenever we like, because we are a master wizard after all. And with our new weather manipulation power in hand, I think this is a good spot to stop the episode. So thank you for watching. It's been a great time. We've got a whole lot more I want to build with this. This concept is, I'm planning on using this in a lot of places. Being able to just have different commands right here, accessible at all times, I think is going to be a really fun tool to have. So anyway, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.